A Monday warrior, mean, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean, mean pride.
Hey, shut up, Adrienne. Hey, welcome to the On the Verti-SHOW. It's been a few months since we've done a session, so we're going to introduce everybody and just kind of tell you what we've been doing during this off time. I'm Steve from On the Vertigo. If you don't know me, I did 2 bike rides, wrote a book, started a nonprofit with the help of Dave and Adrienne, and we started a podcast called On the Verti-SHOW, and that's where we're at now. Welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. Really quick about myself, these last couple months during this downtime, we've taken a step back a little bit to take care of stuff and just kind of mellow out after 3 years of hardcore On the Vertigo stuff. And I've picked up my bass again, and I've been tinkering and getting back into playing music. And I've been doing it for the last 2 months or so, and it's going really well. A little scary. I'm sure if you've seen the stuff on my social media, you can kind of follow my journey, rediscovering my love of music. But that's been my big focus lately. And I'm super excited to be back on the air with another episode of On the Verti-SHOW. Next up, we have Adrienne Smith from South Carolina. Adrienne, good to see you again. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing the last few months while we've been taking a break.
Well, it's been a big break. I've been doing a little traveling, a lot of time with the granddaughter, catching up on a few injuries. It's been a nice break. A few attacks here and there. But it's been nice. I'm super glad to be back and very happy that you've taken up the music again. I know that was for you, and it's an inspiration for everybody. So I've just been kind of hanging.
All right. Next up, we've got our producer and man who controls everything behind the scenes, and it's David Harold Schweer, my younger brother. So Dave, tell us what you've been doing these last few months. You don't have to go into too many details. Just give us a
well, thanks for giving my middle name a shout out. I love that, even though it does say that on the screen.
Harold.
Lovely. Lovely. That's been the high point of my life is my middle name. Yeah, I've been sicker than a dog for about a month, and it's been really bad. And I moved back to Columbus, Ohio, and the gray cloud of doom has moved back in, as we know, if you live in the Midwest. So it's been raining all day, but it's 60 degrees, even though it was 30 below at Christmas. So welcome to Ohio, and everybody's been completely sick because of that. So par for the course.
Like here.
Good to have you back.
A boo box. Be right back.
Okay. I think she said she had to go sit on the poop box, but I right or not?
I could have done that beforehand.
Get my boo box.
Oh, I thought you said you had to sit on the poop box. And I was like, I've never heard it been called the poop box before, but I like it. I'm going to steal it.
So I think we have a guest today who's about ready to sign off after we've shown her that we're complete jackasses. So.
Okay, I want to introduce our very special guest today. You know her, you love her. She's well known around the Meniere community. Her name is Heather Davies. I'm sorry, Heather Davies, but she also goes by the Meniere Muse, which is her social media. So Heather, welcome aboard. We're so glad to have you. I did a podcast on Heather's podcast. I was a guest a week ago, and we had a great time. And so she's reciprocating and decided she'd throw herself under the bus and be a part of our crap show over here. So welcome aboard, Heather. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a quick rundown on your Meniere symptoms, your disease, whatever you want to tell us about who you are and what you do and how you feel. And then we'll go from there. Welcome to the show, Heather.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. My name is Heather Davies, and I did start a podcast back in February called the Meniere Muse, just to share vestibular warrior stories and just to have more connection out there and give a little bit of hope. I started my vestibular journey in 2016. Just a little backstory. I have experienced vertigo for many, many years since I was a teenager, about twice a year. They last no more than a day. And then in 2016, I was working as a nurse and teaching 3 to 4 fitness classes a week, going to school full time. I was taking 5 classes, and I had 2 children still at home. So my plate runneth over. And I started having some pressure on the top of my head that ran down my face with some numbness and tingling that I ignored. I just put it off to stress. And with some encouragement, I did go get evaluated. And ultimately, after many, many doctors and all that hoopla that we all know about, I was finally diagnosed with vestibular migraine and Meniere's disease. And today I'm doing pretty good. I do have symptoms daily, but I haven't had vertigo in about 3 months, although I do, still have dizziness often. But my biggest symptoms today are hyperacusis, tinnitus, the swaying, and brain fog. Yeah. So yeah, those are my biggest symptoms today.
Yeah,
Hey, you fit right in with the rest of us.
Right.
It's very typical. Those are typical symptoms: the daily
Yep.
dizziness, nausea. Of course, the tinnitus is all the time, and then hypercosis. And do your children play a role in your hypercosis? I can't imagine having young children around me because I have a 20-year-old and he just walks in the house and says hi, and my ears just. So I couldn't imagine having a youngster. So how old are your kids, and how does that affect your hypercosis?
The one that's still home, she's 9, and her voice is my biggest trigger, unfortunately.
I know that's why I asked that question. I could picture.
Yeah,
Heather,
she.
I'm sorry. What type of nurse are you?
I'm a behavioral health and addictions nurse.
Oh,
Am I in the right place?
We're gonna have the cops showing up at our doors because she's gonna be like, "These guys are either addicts or they're absolute nuts." So,
all right.
Yeah.
We fortunately, Heather, we have some nurse trivia for you to kick off while we're on the nurse.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm a nurse from here up. So.
It's all good. Are you ready? And
What's from here
okay.
now?
okay, well, the game works like this. Dave's gonna ask the question, the trivia question. Heather, you get the first chance to answer it.
Oh gosh.
If you don't know it, then Adrienne and I get a chance. Dave put his doctor cap on, his surgeon's cap. So if you don't get the answer correct, then Adrienne and I get to try as a team to try to answer the question.
Oh my goodness. My nursing, I need to brush up.
Let me check that. Let me check
All
you
right.
there, Dave. Let me check your head.
All right, the surgeon's cap is for a 5-year-old. I thought it would fit, but it won't. All right.
All right, here we go.
5-year-old also has the stethoscope. So
starting off with the nurse trivia to start the show off. So Heather, focus in. Bring that brain fog.
all right, here we are. If Heather can't get it, then the peanut gallery can chime in.
Okay.
The first one is a kind of easy one, maybe. All right. What was Florence Nightingale's legacy that made her famous?
Oh my gosh. Florence Nightingale's legacy that made her famous as far as being.
What is she known for? Why is she famous?
Is she like one of the first nurses? That's terrible. I don't know that.
Anything from the peanut gallery?
She carried a lantern.
What? She carried a lantern.
She carried a lantern.
That is actually part of the legend. That's true.
That was Paul Revere, wasn't it?
Do tell me. I need to know that.
My guess is that she was a military nurse, the very first famous nurse that took care of soldiers. That would be my guess.
She actually made hospitals cleaner, more sanitary, sanitized them. Apparently, they were pretty dirty before her. Okay, here we go. Another kind of tough one. Which country has the most nurses per capita?
Wow.
Gosh. You're killing me. Could have asked me something about Big Bang.
Nice. There we go.
I have no idea. I would say the US, but I don't think that's right.
Any guesses from the peanut gallery?
I'd like to say England.
So I'm going to skip over that, and I'm going to say Switzerland.
Did you just Google it? It is. You just Googled it, didn't you?
I'm on my phone. I can't Google while I'm doing the show.
Oh, well, it is Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Oh, he just chose Switzerland because of the flag.
Oh, that's not.
Switzerland because they're neutral and they're hardworking people and they don't care about politics as much. They care more about their health system. So I think they have a very.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my reasoning.
All right. In Switzerland, there's one nurse for every 18 people. That makes them the highest. All right.
Wow. That's
Moving right along. Okay, Heather, first, you get the first shot at this. What is the best way to nurse a hangover?
Yes. I got this.
The best way to nurse a hangover. Gosh. Oh, have a drink.
Okay.
I would actually say fluids and hydration.
Okay. There's actually no right or wrong answer to that. So you get the point.
Are you saying Bloody Marys or?
That's what I was going to say. A fucking Bloody Mary right there. Hair of the dog.
All right. We have
That's
one
all
more.
Boston needs to go.
One more nurse trivia. If Adrienne was sick and needed a shot, could she request whiskey?
Is this legal?
Of course.
All right, good job.
If I had a doctor with a flask of whiskey in his pocket that I could actually take a shot of, I wouldn't want him giving me a shot.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess Steve needed that earlier on the shot he was supposed to get. All right, that's it for nursing trivia. Heather wins that.
Thank
job,
goodness.
Good job, Heather. Good job, Heather. Okay, we're going to move on to a couple serious topics here, Heather, that I just want you to just throw your 2 cents in.
Okay.
I have two different questions. We'll do them separately. But the first one was when I was on your show the other day, and when I'm on anybody's podcast, including this one, I easily tear up. And it's not, I'll tear up or break down. And it's not a happy tears. It's not sad tears. It's just, I think my brain gets overloaded with dealing with my symptoms, that my valve that controls my emotions is so fragile that I break down easily and quickly, especially if it's something very serious or very important to me. Like I'm doing it now, just thinking about stuff. So what does that happen to you? Because I know you teared up a little bit when we were talking. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? And are you embarrassed about it? Do you try to stop it?
I used to be embarrassed about it, but anybody who knows me knows that I can cry at commercials or anything, but vestibular disorders are so close to me. And I know that, I don't know if I shared with you, but this is only my second or third podcast that I've shared my story. And writing it, I've written it many, many times, but actually verbalizing it and telling my story, it brings a lot of that stuff that we used to go through that we don't feel anymore, that darkness.
Yeah.
We remember those feelings. And I hate that there's still people out there that go through it. So it's just, I don't know why we do that, but it just rekindles a lot of feelings that we used to have, and it's tough.
Yeah.
Disorders suck.
Yeah. Adrienne, what's your take on that?
Well, Steve, I know for you, I always have to have the boo box because Steve will also cry so fast. Me as well, I'm emotional. I not so much on the show a couple of times, but when I see people suffering, before Christmas, I was out with my granddaughter, and we came out of Duck Donuts, and we heard this fantastic violin music going on, and I was like, oh, somebody's in the parking lot playing. And of course, the guy had his violin with a girl there, and he had it wired up, to a sound box. You hear it all of the parking lot. It was beautiful. Wow. So of course, as soon as I get in the car, I head that way, and she's got the basket out, and of course, I flip him a $10 bill, and then when we pulled away, I just lost it and started crying. And my granddaughter said, Gigi, why are you crying? And I try to let her know that if you have a little extra something and somebody's suffering, then, it's always good to help them out. And, she's 5. She'll, one day she'll remember that. But Steve and I were talking earlier. I was telling him about this. Steve, I remember last Christmas, a year ago, I came out of TJ Maxx, and our TJ Maxx is like with a mall, and it was the same people, and the mall security said they weren't allowed to do that there. But that came to me after I talked to you earlier today. I was like, this was the same people. So I was glad to see them a year later.
Mm-hmm.
And glad to throw them some change. But things like that, people suffering, like some things on the news I can't look at. It just breaks my heart. That's when I lose it.
Okay. Well, I've got a question for everybody. We're going to start with Dave, then we'll go to Heather, then we're going to go to Adrienne, then I'll give my answer. Dave, what's a movie that makes you cry every time you watch it?
I probably have one, but I'm going to pass for the moment so I can think about it.
Okay, Heather, I know you got it right on the top of your head.
I don't. I was actually going to say the same thing Dave did. So I'll have to think about it.
Good.
There's a bunch.
All right.
Adrienne,
I'll give them time because I found out what mine is. This is going to be totally stupid, but it's true. So if you know the movie Erin Brockovich, and there's the woman who's throughout the movie, her daughter's dying of cancer, and then she dies of cancer, and then Erin Brockovich at the end goes and tells her that they won the lawsuit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when she takes her husband that was like getting beat up and really working hard to hold everything together, and he didn't know why, and then like it's the payoff at the end, and that gets me, man. I got to admit.
Check for $5 million they got. I know
exactly.
Okay.
No, but no amount of money can make for that.
For sure.
And
for sure.
I haven't watched for a while, and I'll just say the line from the beginning of the movie, and you tell me if you know what it is.
Star Wars.
And I don't even know if I have it right. I had a farm in Africa at the foot of the Ngonkan Hills. Out of Africa.
Really? Okay.
Wow.
Bedford, her true love that was never hers and never would be.
My guess for you, Adrienne, was going to be Bridges of Madison County, but that was just my guess.
Out of Africa.
Heather, what do you got?
I will tell you, I just watched it today, and part of it made me cry. It's Spanglish.
Wow.
When Tay Leone spills it and says she had an affair. Oh, Adam Sandler, I just got crushed.
Yeah, if you cry during an Adam Sandler movie, then there's something wrong, because most of his movies, if you cry during his movies, then that's one of his serious roles.
Yeah.
And it was actually a good movie. It surprised me. I watched it a long time ago, and I was like, wow, that ended up being pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's mine. Mine would be Bad Santa. And I can't with Billy Bob Thornton. I'm just kidding. It's not bad. And I do feel bad for the kid when he says sandwich, and Bob Thornton says, what the fuck's a sandwich? That brings you up.
Oh my goodness. That just brings up bullying from Steve's childhood.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All right. Thanks for that little discussion and the knowledge we learned. All right, Heather, me and you and Adrienne, we're in the same boat per se. Okay, so when you tell me your symptoms or you tell me you're having a bad day, it's known to us what that feels like. But to the outside world, what do you think people need to know about you and how you deal with your disease? People that don't know anything about Meniere's disease, what do you think they need to know about us? It's a little loaded.
Well, it's hard. Just driving today, I got a call from somebody that was telling me that she's having all these symptoms, and her mother's like, come on, it can't be that bad. And I'm like, I felt so bad for her. And I'm like, I know what that feels like. But so I sent her the docuseries, And I said, forward this to your mother. So Life Rebalance docuseries. What they need to know is that it's hard and every day is different. I mean, today we're doing this, we're able to sit in front of the light and the video and talk and deal with the cameras, but today or even tomorrow, we may not be able to do that. You just have to trust. If someone in your life has this, you have to trust what they're saying, because it's very difficult to explain. And actually, I don't know if you've experienced this, but when I've explained it to people, even nurses that have no idea what I'm experiencing, I sound crazy. I sound like I'm making these symptoms up, and and I mean, even to myself, and I know that because I'm experiencing it. And so you just have to stand up for yourself and just do what you need to do. If somebody doesn't understand it, they need to, if you have someone in your life that's saying this, do them a favor and do your own research. That was the biggest compliment for me, was those friends that I have left, doing their own research and looking it up and saying, coming back to me and saying, how do you live like this? How do you live with this disorder? I don't get it. So I don't know. That was kind of a mishmash. I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, that was great. That was great. What do you think, Adrienne?
Man, people don't understand. My biggest thing is my misuse of words. I can't get my words out right. I'll call something not what it is, and Chris will be like, "Well, you mean?" I'm like, "You know what I mean," or things like that. Really loud, annoying voices drives me crazy. Big booms, maybe the smoke alarm going off. It's and the foggy brain, the tinnitus. God, this cold weather, the tinnitus, it just screams. I mean, people just don't understand. I have limited friends as well, a few very good friends, they get it. And they know. Other people is like, I think it's interesting how I can share a picture of my granddaughter on social media and everybody comments or likes. And once I share something from a vestibular disorder and all, only 2 or 3 people will say something, because either they're suffering from MS or something else or not. I think it's very interesting how people just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, read what I'm posting so you understand.
Yeah.
But they don't. They don't.
All right, Heather, question for you. Not really a question. I just want to ask you to describe something in the best words you can in less than a minute. Describe what it's like to be right in the middle of a vertigo attack.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
My vertigo attacks are floor hugging. I have to go right to the floor. I don't experience drop attacks, but I feel like I'm in a perpetual fall through like a wormhole that is never ending. And there's nothing I can do to make it ease up. I just have to wait. And that's that.
Yeah, that's well put. And in my book, I kind of describe it almost like that, like you're floating down into space and you just kind of don't have a reality. Your reality disappears and your reality becomes this world of spinning that to most people think spinning is like being on a merry-go-round, but it's not like that. It's like our heads literally, it just feels it's an out of body experience to me of misery. So anyway,
let me chime in just for a second.
Sure, Adrienne, you would do it anyway.
So Heather, for me, it's the BPPV that gets me with my vestibular migraine. Do you have a lot of problems with the crystals rolling in your ears?
No. At first, I used to. They first thought I was BPPV when they did the oh my gosh, I just lost it.
Yeah. I know.
The maneuver.
Right.
But it went away because I don't do that with movement. Yeah.
Is it the Epley maneuver?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Never tried it. Don't care. Nothing else. So, all right. I want to bounce back a little bit because you mentioned the Life Rebalance Chronicles.
Yeah.
And welcome to the team because they're doing a season 2 of the Life Rebalance Chronicles, sponsored by Beta and produced by Kimberly and Unfixed Media again, who did a fantastic job on the first one. They're doing a season 2 starting this coming year, and Heather Davies is going to be one of the cast members on it. So
Yeah.
Nice.
She's going to
I'm
be,
excited.
yeah. And so
Congratulations.
yeah, that's cool. I was really excited to find out that they were going to. I'm excited that you're going to be able to tell your story just like I got to tell mine, because it is healing. And that's what most of our podcasts should be about. It shouldn't be jokes and shooting the shit. Part of it to be entertaining. But the real thing is people need to be heard. People need a platform to tell their story, whether it's on a big stage like Life Rebalance Chronicles, or it's just getting an email from someone who knows that we're sick and says, hey, this is how I feel, and we can relate to it. And it's just healthy. So sharing our stories, I think, is the number one goal for what we need to do to raise awareness, because not only to raise awareness for our loved ones and stuff, but it's healing for us to share our stories. So I'm super glad that you're going to get to tell your story in depth and have it put into that documentary. You know, one of the things about my family is they know how much I suffer every day, but I'm not going to be around forever. And the Life Rebalance Chronicles, on the Vertigo, the book, the most important thing to me about that is it's going to be a legacy for my son, that he'll be able to, you know, he's 20 years old now. He could care less whether dad's spinning on the bathroom floor and throwing up or doing whatever. He cares. But I think 20, 30, 40 years from now, all this stuff that I've documented, he'll be able to go back and then he'll appreciate more what we have done as a community, you know, not just me, but he'll know, oh my God, you know, my dad had friends all over the world that he helped, and he has friends all over the world that have helped him. And so that's why I'm excited about being part of Life Rebalance first, because I think later on my son will appreciate more what I've put my life out to, and it might inspire him to be an advocate for something he's passionate about.
Absolutely.
You know? So anyway, I'm super excited. Welcome to the team. You're going to love it. Kimberly is a nutbag. She's super funny, super cool. You're going to love her to death.
Awesome.
So, all right. The box. He went to the poop box. Sorry, Adrienne. Didn't mean to send you to the tissues already. Okay, so our next segment, I don't know what this is about, but Dave's got some kind of another game to be played, I think. So we're going to have a little bit more fun, and it's going to be a little silly. And I get last call. I'm not a part of this. This is Heather versus Adrienne, I think, right, Dave?
Yeah, it is Heather versus Adrienne.
But
all
I
right,
get a second shot on both of your questions, because you guys have different questions, I think, from what Dave explained. I don't know what he's doing, but he's going to ask Heather a question, and if she gets it right, she gets it right. And if not, I get a chance to answer. And the same thing with you, Adrienne.
All right, well, we have to preface this game by telling everyone that I believe, Heather, your husband was a hair band guy back in the day, back in the 80s. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
You want to give us any information on that real quick before we start?
No, just that, I don't know. I liked big hair and tight pants, I guess.
Right on.
That's what he was back then.
You would have been following Steve around then. Steve had huge hair and tight pants, but
yeah,
Did he
was a
look
doll.
like that?
He had bigger hair. He had bigger hair than me.
Yeah, there's a mullet.
all right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 80s hairband trivia for Heather. She's going to do lightning round.
Oh gosh.
About eight questions lightning round. Steve will get a chance to answer if Heather misses, but Steve will get no points. So this will be.
You already won. I'm not good.
But after Heather's lightning round, then we're going to do Adrienne's lightning round with 70s trivia, and then we'll see if Heather can beat Adrienne.
Hold on. Why does she get the 80s and I get the 70s? You trying to say I'm the oldest one on this platform?
Yeah, how old are you, Adrienne? Tell us all.
I just turned 64.
That's why.
I doubt you can name the guitar player for Slaughter, but you might know who Leonard Skinner is. That's all we're saying.
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to know any of this. Just because I fell in love with the rocker.
It's the first thing that comes to your head, and if you miss it, I can chime in really quick.
It's all good. It's totally silly. It's all good. It's it's all random too, because this is just what I came up with. All right. Although Steve and I know that we lived in the hairband days, so we have way too much information going. All right, here we go. Lightning round. Heather, number one, Warrant's most famous single featured what delicious dessert?
Harry's. I don't know.
Ooh, that cherry pie. We're going to give it to her.
Okay.
We'll give it to you. She's my cherry pie.
Cherry pie, yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Number two, according to Poison, every rose has its what?
Thorn?
Nice.
Yes.
Man, she brought it. She brought it.
Your husband's gonna be so proud of you. Go ahead. Dave.
All right. Who is the original lead singer of Van Halen?
Oh, gosh. He's going to kill me. I don't know that.
Getting in trouble with the husband.
Not Eddie. Who is it? I don't remember.
David Lee
Steve.
Roth.
All right. David Lee Roth. Steve brought it. Okay. Okay.
You were close, Heather.
Can see him.
Number four, the Scorpions wanted to rock you like a what?
Hurricane.
All right. Good. Good. Vince Neil from Motley Crue famously wanted everyone to kickstart his what?
Ooh. I have no idea. But I don't know. I guess motorcycle. I don't know. I have no idea.
Steve.
Kickstart my heart.
Oh.
All right. Kickstart my heart. Nice.
I'm crying now. Go ahead.
All right. Here's a crossover question. What 80s hair band played at a volume of 1 louder than 10?
Ooh.
A volume of 1 louder than 10. I have no idea. My first thing comes to my head is AC/DC, but I have no idea.
That would be a good guess. Steve, what is it?
Up to 11 by Spinal Tap.
Oh,
There we
I have
go.
no
There we
idea.
go. Kind of a
Big
trick
Bottom.
question.
Big Bottoms. I love that song.
All right, here you go. Another crossover question about the news. What 80s hair band was playing a 2003 show when a fire broke out and killed 100 people?
Oh gosh. I remember that.
It was in
I-
Rhode
I-
Island.
I don't know.
Great White.
Oh gosh, that was terrible.
All
Yep,
right,
those are-
all right. We're coming into the end zone here. This is your opinion. This is your opinion, Heather. Are Warrant and Winger the exact same band?
Warrant and Winger, the exact same band. I have no idea.
The answer is yes. Okay. But we're going to give you a point for that. All right. All right, Adrienne, are you ready for your 70s lightning round? Here you go.
Good job, Heather.
Nice job on that one, Heather. Heather came out with 4 points on that.
Ooh, you got to beat 4 points, Adrian.
All right, here we go. You ready, Adrienne? Disco legend KC named his band after what meteorological phenomenon?
Well, it was KC and the Sunshine Band.
All right, Sunshine, you got it. The Bee Gees famously opened their hit Staying Alive with, well, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a what?
A woman's man.
All right, 2 for Adrienne. Donna Summer wanted everyone to know she works hard for the what?
For the money, baby. For the money.
All right, all right. All right, here, get a little tougher, Adrienne. Who was the host of Soul Train?
I know this.
If you know it, Heather, I'll give you a point.
Dawn or Dan, Dawn. Pass.
No.
Pass.
Steve. All right, I'll give Adrienne half a point because it's Dawn Cornelius.
There you
Has
go.
Dawn.
Thank you.
All right, Adrienne, name 3 of the 6 members of the Fat Albert Gang.
Mushmouth. Fat
Good.
Albert.
Shut the fuck up, Chris.
All right,
I know her husband's back there feeding me shit.
All right, that she's disqualified already.
Busted.
Heather, can you give me 3 of them since
No.
since Adrienne's disqualified?
No, I have no idea. Fat Albert's the only one I know.
He was standing right there.
I know. I can hear him the whole time.
But that
I'm
is
gonna
the
say-
only question he answered. Okay, go ahead. He's gone.
I'm gonna say Piggy,
Go ahead.
Kermit, and an animal.
All right, Adrienne. Last question: does disco suck?
Does disco suck?
Yes.
What kind of question is that?
That's your last question.
No, disco does not suck.
Well, okay, I can't answer that. So Heather has 4 points. Adrienne has 3.5. Good job, Heather.
Disco does not suck. I used to think it did, but now I'm a lot broader. So I'm a fan.
All right, nice job, gang.
Awesome.
Silly.
Okay, I've got a question that might lead to a short conversation, hopefully. Heather, you do yoga.
Uh-huh.
Adrienne, you do yoga. You guys talk yoga for like a minute and just tell us how yoga helps you guys with your
Okay.
vestibular disorders, because my wife does yoga religiously and I do not, because I just don't like doing it. But you guys obviously have found something in yoga that matters and it helps you with your dealing with your symptoms. So talk it out.
I've been a certified yoga teacher for over 10 years. And I used to have a kick-ass practice. Not so much the past few years. And anything inverted, down dog, any inversions are out for me anymore because of those crystals. If I do a practice, it's gentle stretching, everything's upright, warriors, Virabhadrasana, things like that. But I find that doing those type of postures, of course, it gives you the discipline to stay upright,
Right.
and maintain that for, your minute or 2 minutes, or however long. But I certainly don't have the practice I used to. And so I can teach if I don't teach at all anymore unless I go up to my brothers, but I mean, I can teach before I can practice. What about you?
I don't teach. It's just me and sometimes my daughter. I tell you, yoga has helped me when I'm not doing my normal yoga flow. Sometimes if I have anxiety, there are certain, I don't know the names, but there's certain things that I do. The one where you bend over and you hang your arms down. That helps with my anxiety. Do you know the name of that one?
The forward fold.
Yeah. And I just kind of I just stay there.
Ragdoll.
Yeah. I just stay there until the anxiety passes. So that's something I use more frequently than anything, including my flow. Yeah, I feel I just need it. If I don't do it, I just feel off. And
Is it part of your routine? Like, is it a daily thing that if you don't do it, you feel kind of like you missed something that day?
It should be. It used to be every day, but now I've really, ever since the holidays, I've kind of gotten back. But the new year, I'm trying to pull things back in. But yes, it used to be every morning when I got up. Before I got out of bed, I would do my journaling and meditation, and then I would go to my yoga flow and off the rest of the day. And then sometimes at night. So I've been waking up. It's so strange. Just recently, the last month or so, been waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning with like a panic attack.
Yeah.
So I've been doing poses in the middle of the night just to bring that anxiety back down.
Okay.
And I don't know what that's all about.
Well, we can go all hooey, but Mercury is in retrograde. So you're bound to have things coming to the surface. But also when I find that purse breathing can help if you just
Yeah.
I feel bad for you. I wake up in the middle of the night. Usually it's because I'm having some pretty hefty dreaming, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All right,
it's hard. I'm gonna work through it. You got a what?
I have a question for you, Heather, that I was wondering about, if I can chime in. You've been doing Meniere's Muse podcast for a while. So What do you think is something or two or three things that you've learned from all the people you've interviewed? Just something that you maybe surprised you or that you didn't know before you started doing it?
About vestibular warriors,
Yeah.
really how resilient we are. I mean, it's crazy that the biggest thing I see that people change once they have their symptoms. I'm sorry, let me start. When they have their symptoms, the biggest change, that where there was a shift that they started healing was in their mindset. That was surprising to hear from a lot of people. But it's and knowing that everyone else had to do a lot of the soul work too. It wasn't just me, because everything has to be in aligned, your nutrition, your spiritual work, everything. There's just so much that goes into it. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of things working together. And I hear that every interview, that it's really taking a step outside and looking at yourself as a whole, to find out how to move forward and live a better life. So
Well put. Yeah, that's a good question, Dave. That was well put. I don't even think I want to add to that, Adrienne. I think we'll just let that stand on its own because I think that was great.
yeah.
Do you have a say it sultry, Adrienne, or is that something we can skip on? You have a say it sultry? No.
Oh my.
Oh, we
Oh
did.
gosh.
She's not getting away from here without the say it sultry.
Okay. If you've watched our podcast before, Heather, we do
I have.
Okay, then you know what's coming. So
Oh,
Adrienne,
brother.
3 or 4 sentences, and you need to, in
Okay.
a sexy, sultry voice, say it to Dave.
Oh, what?
I'll say it to Adrienne.
Oh,
We can
okay.
go
Well,
both ways on that. We can go both ways.
You say it to whoever you want to say it to. So
Okay.
just real
You can say it to Baby Yoda.
There you go.
All right, just 3, very simple. And now you have to say it sultry. You know the deal. Okay, here's the first one. Hey baby, I know I could be up your alley.
Oh my.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, Adrienne. I'm sorry.
Again, hey, she coughing like me, having a fit. Hey baby, I know I could be up your alley.
I don't know how to be sultry. I'm gonna laugh through the whole thing. Hey baby, I don't know how to pick up your alley. Say it again.
Yes.
That wasn't sultry. I was
That's
repeating myself.
That
sultry.
was perfecto, mucho perfecto.
All right,
Okay,
number 2.
número 2. You want some of this?
You want some of this?
Say it sultry.
You want some of this?
Yeah,
There it is.
there you go. Okay, and the last one is just a simple say it sultry to me.
Oh,
Repeat.
say it's sultry to me.
Come on, you got a little bit more in you than that.
Oh, let's see. Say it's sultry to me.
All right.
My voice is too hard.
We love just to make people uncomfortable, and that's
It's
my
so
favorite.
silly.
And we have pulled that off.
And I'll tell you the one so far that was really good, Heather. But so far, my number 1 favorite say it sultry has been Johan, the chappiness guy.
Chappy
Yeah.
was good.
I love
into,
him.
He got
he
into
wearing his-
character.
Was he wearing his horns when he said it?
Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think he was, and
Yeah,
I wanted to drive to Canada and hop in bed with him.
Oh my.
on his trivia, he would put those horns down to go into
Yep.
speed drive.
That's right. Okay, Heather, before we
I
do a
just
last segment called Getting to Know You, which is just general questions like you asked me on your show at the very end. But
Yeah.
before we do that, can you just tell everybody where to find you on social media, what you're up to? Just give people just a broad or a narrow view of what you're doing and where to find you on social media or on international television, either one.
Sure. The easiest way to find me is on Instagram, and that's Meniere's Muse. just simply Meniere's Muse. I also, it's pretty much our podcast is on any platform. My favorite platform that it's on, because you can bookmark places, is Audible, but you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even on YouTube, which is under Meniere's Muse also. So,
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, you're doing a great job with your podcast. You're getting the word out for us, and I so appreciate it. I
Thank
really
you.
do. And thanks for being on the show for sure.
It's been fun.
All right, Dave, you want to wrap it up with some
All right.
These are for everybody. We just take a turn.
So we're going to do getting to know you. I'll ask the question and Heather can answer first, and then Adrienne, and then Steve. And before we do that, I wanted to say people can find us at onthevertigo.org, and we are looking for somebody to donate $150 so we can put our podcast back on Podbean, and that gets us up there for about a year, I believe. So if anybody is interested in that, they can go to onthevertigo.org and donate. All right. All right. So getting to know you, Heather, there's no right or wrong answer, no pressure. This is the first question. Where would be the scariest place to get lost?
Just a person with Meniere's disease to get lost?
No, just you personally.
You yourself.
The scariest place to get lost. Wow.
I got lost at the fair once when I was a kid.
I get
It
lost in
scared me.
IKEA.
Oh.
That's scary.
I think you would never find your way out.
No, no, that's a hard one.
Adrienne, what do you got?
In my head.
Ooh.
Good one. I think for me, it would be being like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on a boat and have it just go down and being lost at sea and just like
Mm.
floating there like on a piece of wood and having sharks circle around me and eat me.
Oh my
peacefully.
God, that's terrifying.
That's like one of my biggest nightmares. So anyway,
Goodness.
that's
All right. The second one. What great mystery would you want solved?
Ooh, I want to know more about King Tut.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a good one.
I'm fascinated with that.
Adrienne.
JFK.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
My dad was in the CIA. He trained a lot of Cubans for the Bay of Pigs. So he took that one pretty hard. So we often wonder too, was he involved in some other things for revenge?
True.
I
Yes.
really would like to know that one.
Mine's a lot more serious than that. Why did Fox cancel Judge Judy after 25 years?
She's a bitch.
No, yeah, I love her though. She got picked up on another network, so I got some more to watch, but Fox canceled her. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Third one.
Shout out.
Have you ever done something heroic besides the Meniere's Muse podcast for Heather?
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is doing CPR, but it's, that's sucky.
If it worked.
Have you saved someone's life?
No, unfortunately, she didn't pass. She passed, but it was sad. But that's
You
the
were
first thing
heroic
that
for
comes
doing
to
it.
mind. I don't know. I'm a very simple person.
Yeah.
Adrienne, what do you got?
I think we're all heroes and we're all heroic living with the shit we live with.
You got
Good
it.
answer.
So
Amen.
no, I've never saved anybody's life. And if it was somebody I didn't like, I probably just let them die.
That's honest.
Good thing you and Heather aren't roommates.
What
For
do you
me, I
got,
think
Steve?
just getting off the couch 3 years ago and just starting what I started, and it's grown into something way bigger than I ever expected or even wanted, really. But that I think for me, it took a lot of strength to put myself out there again after being dormant for 8 years or so. So I don't know if I would consider it heroic to people out there, but I personally consider it as a pretty good victory on something I didn't think I'd be able to do.
Steve, it's still giving.
Thank
You're
you.
you're still inspiring people through that story. I think
Thank
it
you.
will be giving for a while.
Mhm.
Let's see.
All right, good. Heather, has anything ever come to you in a vision or a dream?
Yes.
Can you say it in public? Can
Um,
you say it with Adrienne present?
I I do have like visions. I visioned long time ago my husband and my dream coming to fruition, and it did. And
You had big hair and
we both had big hair.
big
Now
hair and a
we
guitar.
yeah, so yeah, I have had visions, and I like to think that they do come true, the good ones, you know, as we
Good
lean
answer.
into those, I think.
Yeah, good answer.
Good.
Adrienne?
You know
Here
I
we go.
have.
Here
I've
We
we
had
know
go.
you
big-
have. Does it involve aliens? Be honest, Adrienne.
No, but I have had visions and they come true. And, I've had a few, OBEs and, things like that. But when Mary Tyler Moore passed away the night before,
Uh-oh.
my dad was in my dream. And he was like standing there with Mary Tyler Moore. And I'm like, what kind of dream is this? And then, of course, the
Aww.
next day I wake up and she's passed.
Wow.
Example. That was an example.
Oh my God.
Awesome. Okay. I can't top Mary Tyler Moore. That's for damn sure.
I know.
Yeah,
No,
it's kinda
I
hard.
think I've had dreams where I've been dreaming and know that I am dreaming, like conscious that I'm dreaming. And
Mhm.
I've done some adventures and done some wacky stuff in my dreams that seemed a little more than just your normal dream where you wake up and you're like, man, where did all that come from? Where they've had purpose or meaning, and I've gained strength from them, but I can't be very specific on that. It's every once in a while. So yeah.
Yeah, and Steve's had visions of Mary Tyler Moore for different reasons. So, all right, next one. What part of life would you put a big warning label on?
Oh gosh, what part of life?
Yeah,
Teenage years.
good
I would
answer.
I would not go back there.
And Adrienne, I wouldn't say marriage because Chris is probably sitting there.
A big warning label on relationships.
Mm,
Any
Good one.
type of relationship.
That's good. That's good. Mine's kind of close to that. Mine is like being true to yourself, like a warning, don't be fake to please other people, because if you do that, you lose your own sense of personality, you lose your sense of purpose. And I spent years and years trying to be things for other people
Oh my
instead
gosh.
of being myself. And so one of the things that the Meniere's has taught me is I have to be true to myself first. I need to take care of myself first. I need to look out for myself first. And if I do that, then people around me benefit instead of me being fake and them getting an empty shell to like guess what I'm like or try to manipulate how they view me. Now I let people view me as is, where I used to be a that. So I would warn people to be true to yourself and then let the outcome go where it goes, because then you find out who your real friends are. You find out who cares about you. You find out the meaning and the purpose for why you're here. You find out what you're supposed to be doing. You find out that you can love yourself, and when you're not being true to yourself, I would warn people to do that, because if you're that fake person, then you don't get anything from it and nobody else does. And it's a lose-lose. So that's my answer.
I have
Good
another
answer.
one. That's so great because it's so
Yeah.
dead on. But I have another one.
Go for it.
It's your show, Heather. Go ahead.
I think also medical warning, because I think we put so much into that white coat, the trust. And
Yeah.
like going back to what you said, Steve, is we really have to trust ourselves, and they don't know everything, you know, and that's obvious in the vestibular community that the doctors, a lot of the doctors that we see really don't have a clue what's going on with us. So we really have to trust our gut and before we trust with what they're telling us. The majority of it.
Advocate for yourself, and if you find somebody that's blowing you off or doesn't believe you or tells you it's all mental, find somebody else.
Move on.
Move on. Great one.
All right.
That's a great.
All right.
All right. Well, I want to say goodbye to David Harold, Adrienne Smith, and our special guest today. Thank you so much for joining us, Heather Davies. We wish you the best of luck with your podcast, and we will be listening
Thank
in.
you.
And we're just
so
so glad you
much.
wanted to spend time.
Oh, yeah.
Heather, I think you have a super cool, great energy.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool
Aw,
hairdo.
thank you.
Cool hairdo. I'm going to go for that soon. Just the one side. But thank
Me
you
too.
for joining us. And this is Harold, Heather Davies, Adrienne, and Steve from On the Vertigo signing off from On the Verti-SHOW. And join us next time. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out, everybody. Peace out.